So I've got Dan Grant, who's the director at Fat Rank and Promo SEO. Today's video is about Instagram ads and how you can generate leads via Instagram for lead generation services. So Dan, how do you think of Instagram with regards to as a lead generation platform?
Yeah, I think like a lot of social media platforms, Instagram is definitely one that you can have some success from in terms of if you're trying to, generate leads for your business through there. It's definitely doable. It's similar in terms of Facebook, though, I feel, in Twitter, where you really need to understand your audience that you're going for. So you need to know the demographics you're trying to target. You need to know a lot about kind of script writing and obviously sales copy in terms of actually including that in the advert itself to actually obviously convert people to, generate inquiries. So there's a lot that goes into it. And even with all of that considered, you can still put a lot of money into Instagram ads and not actually earn very much money, depending on your niche and things like that. So there's a lot of risks that go into it from that perspective, where you might not actually see the return on investment. I think it's always something I'd recommend people kind of trying out. But a lot of the time, a lot of companies do prefer other lead generation methods to obviously generate the more consistent flow of quality and reliable leads, really.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I compare Instagram to let's say like Meta, obviously it's part of Meta, but when I'm comparing it against Facebook, I always feel even though it's the same Meta platform, Facebook seems to perform that little bit better than Instagram. The Instagram stories ads seems to do pretty well, but I kind of only really use Instagram for brand reputation management, for getting the name out there as much as I can, or sending them through for like a following base as opposed to a lead generation. That doesn't say that it doesn't work for leads. It can work very successfully for certain people for lead generation for UK businesses, but it's not the top of my list. I much prefer YouTube ads or PPC. Obviously, prefer like a pay-per-lead model if I could move on to that. But then try to explain the new model that we've kind of set up now, where it's a pay-on performance. And let us know how you feel the pay-on performance kind of compares against Instagram lead generation.
So I think in comparison to Instagram lead generation specifically, or any kind of social media lead generation specifically, it kind of just eliminates all that risk and that hassle. To actually begin any sort of social media promotion to actually generate leads, it's a lot of it where it requires a lot of courses that might need to be done. It requires a lot of research into, how do I write for this advert? How do I learn to kind of target demographics? What budget should I, do? And how long should I run the advert for? And it's kind of the thing that's best left to a marketing agency to do, or a specific Facebook or Instagram marketing agency. And a lot of the times they'll either, charge a big markup so that it actually doesn't, give you too much return on investment, or it might not be right for your industry to begin with. Whereas our kind of pay on conversion model is completely risk-free. So what we'll do is we'll generate the client the leads, they'll get the leads through, they don't have to pay for those leads at all. They'll be specific to their industry, and across the country. And it's not until they convert a job that they actually have to pay anything back. So obviously that gets discussed later down the line as well with the client. But what it means is that there's no risk on their end. There's no hassle at all in terms of them having to set anything up or learn anything. It's literally a case of, here's the leads, we'll do our job, which is, which is what they're best at, which is converting the work, actually, dealing with the inquiries. And obviously after that, it's kind of mutually beneficial for us and them. So I think it's a much better model than doing something like Instagram, where it's a big learning curve for a lot of people who aren't used to it in terms of advertising. You might not get the demographic right. And even if all of those things do work in your favor, it just might not be right for your niche, really. So I definitely think that it's a favorable, to go for something where it's completely risk-free and you're only receiving inquiries. Would you agree with that, or?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, if you can de-risk it, we are very selective with who we work with. That's what I would say. So if they are only working in a local small area, let's say of 10 miles from Manchester or 20 miles from London or something like that, something like Instagram is good for looking at a specific demographic, saying only show within 10 miles of this location, only show to male or only show to female, this age range and stuff like that. So there's a lot of filters that you can put in place. And for smaller businesses that work in a small demographic, I think it can work really well. Yeah. I think it also works quite well for like pubs and restaurants and B2C type clients. A lot of our kind of pay on performance is more B2B lead generation. So it can certainly help for sure. But it'd be interesting to see what the viewers' kind of thoughts are. Are you using at present Instagram ads to promote your business? Is it a B2C, or are you actually using it for B2B as well and it's working well? Leave us a comment in the comment section to let me know what your thoughts are on Instagram lead generation. And have you ever tried a pay on conversion or pay on performance type lead generation model? Be interesting to hear your thoughts on this.